Hello and welcome, my friends. The Samsung Galaxy Fold 6 just came out a few days ago, maybe about a week ago or so, and I got it, of course, and it's right there. And I have my previous device here, which is Galaxy Fold 5, so now I have two. I'm grading from 5 to 6, which some people will say is crazy because a lot of people will tell you it's basically the same phone, just slightly different look. And in some ways it's true, but there's a little bit more to the story in my opinion, so I figured I'll make this quick video to share some of my thoughts and the reasons why I figured it's worth an upgrade for me. So this is the last year's model, Fold 5. I think it's a very beautiful phone, and it's a very good foldable device. Like, it did a great job for me. It worked wonderfully for almost a year since I got it, and I'm very happy with it. Now, this year Fold 6 came out, and I decided to grab it for a couple of big reasons. Ooh, that's bright. Turn this down a little bit. One of the biggest ones, of course, being the new design of the screen, slightly updated aspect ratio, and also a slightly wider screen here. So it's not a huge difference. Obviously, if you look at them side by side, you will see that they still are very similar in size and overall shape, but I can tell you, having a slightly wider screen, especially on the outside, does make a noticeable difference, at least to me, in daily use. And of course it makes the inside screen a little bit wider too, but again, the difference is pretty minimal there. So the phones are still very similar, but hopefully you see what I see. It does make the phone look just a little bit bigger, which it is. Not the phone itself, but the screen is. And I do like sharper corners that they went with this year, so it makes it closer to my S24 Ultra in design, kind of matching, and I like that. With that said, I don't really have anything against rounded corners. They do sit nicely in your hand when they just don't poke into your skin too much, and very nice to hold in one hand as well. But I do like the squared off corners there. So since we're looking at overall look and feel of the device, might as well just discuss the build quality too. Once again, very similar as far as materials used. They both use aluminum frame. They use Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on front and back. With the Fold 6, I have the anti-glare screen protector applied. This is the original Samsung accessory. That's why in their appearance they might be a little bit different. Very quick correction. I just said a second ago that they have a screen protector applied. I just realized I made it sound like it comes applied from the factory. It's not the case. You have to order a screen protector separately and put it on yourself. So you can see here, there's a screen protector, and I did apply it myself, which is not hard to do, but it doesn't come with the phone. So I just want to make sure that's clear. You have to get it. You have to buy it. Here's the S24 Ultra with Gorilla Armor glass. And here's the Fold 6 with the anti-glare screen protector. And here's a Fold 5 with no screen protector, and this is Gorilla Victus 2 glass on the front. Now let me put them closer together. And again, let's find that light. So hopefully it comes across the same on video, but basically the Gorilla Glass armor and this anti-glare screen protector look virtually identical. So I like that. That's kind of cool. And of course, this is what the glass looks without it. Feels almost like a mirror. And this is what the Fold 6 glass will look without the screen protector. It'll look exactly the same as the Fold 5 because it's the same Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on both. So I kind of like the screen protector. Yeah, I think it's the way to go. So yeah, that's what the screen protector does. I like it. Other than that, they do feel build-wise, they feel very close. There's one interesting thing I've noticed. We all know that they made Fold 6 a little bit lighter this year. So again, and thinner too. So pretty good upgrade there. A nice achievement. They managed to make it even thinner, even lighter than it was before. To me personally, I'll be completely honest, it creates kind of a weird effect when I hold both in my hand. I feel like Fold 5 feels more premium. The Fold 6 starting to feel, to me, because of its weight, I think, a bit cheap, which is crazy. You know, obviously it's not a cheap phone. In fact, they made it even more expensive this year, but we'll get back to that. But yeah, something about the weight of the Fold 5, this just feels like really, really premium in your hand, very substantial. And this guy here, it's not a huge difference in weight, but just holding it in my hand, you know, moving it around, it feels, like I said, I mean, just completely honest, just starting to feel kind of cheap. Let's move on now to the hinge. They, once again, new generation, and it's newly redesigned hinge. So there are a couple of big differences that I've noticed between Fold 5 and Fold 6 with this hinge. One thing, with the Fold 5, and of course part of the hinge is the part of your inside screen and how it opens and the crease, right? So that was the crease on Fold 5, and they did reduce it here in Fold 6. Now in video it looks very similar, but when you slide your finger across, you can definitely feel the difference. So you still feel it with your finger. I almost don't feel it with the S Pen though, which I still always feel like the dip here if I slide my S Pen across. I almost don't feel it with the new one. But yes, the crease is a little bit smaller here and kind of straighter. One other thing that is really weird that I had with this Fold 5, I don't recall exactly if it was always like this or it kind of developed over time, but when I first got this phone, it would open and close completely silently. Then after about a month or so, I started noticing just a very faint kind of click every time I opened it, or like a pop. It was very faint, barely noticeable. But then a few more weeks went by, and it just turned into, well, this sound. You hear that? Every time I open the phone, it makes that sound. And this is just your screen flexing. Some people say it's the hinge and brushes inside. I disagree. I think it's the screen, because I can actually feel it, and I can make it make similar sounds. The screen actually flexes, like I can press on it. Sorry, the whole phone moves, so it's a little bit hard to demonstrate, but hopefully this shows it. So the screen, I can actually push it in a little bit, and it's kind of like this in the middle area, about here on the side here. It's fine. So I think that's how it was from the start. I just don't remember exactly. I didn't pay attention to it in the beginning when I first got it, but I think it's just the design of the hinge and like the teardrop design and how they did it in that direction. When I start closing it, it becomes nice and tight. So I don't think it's fully like glued to whatever the back plate they use there. Close is fine though. Now with this new one, it's fine, at least for now. Again, maybe after a few weeks it will develop the same thing, I hope not, but it opens easier, smoother, and it's also completely silent, and there's no flex there, there's no movement. Obviously I'm not going to press too hard on it, so let me do it again and I'll be quiet. Completely silent. That's nice. However, so that was good. However, the bad with the Fold 5, when I open it, and I just open it like this, it opens completely straight. So this is perfectly straight and flat. Okay. The Fold 4, Fold 3 did not open all the way flat like this, so you have to kind of push it back a little bit to straighten it out. And now we're at Fold 6. I was expecting it to be just as good as Fold 5 in that regard, but when I opened this phone, so I just opened it, I'm not forcing anything, and I get just a tiny bit of an angle there. Now it's not, it's not a huge deal by any means, but it just kind of feels like a step back a little bit. So I have to push it in slightly like that to straighten it out, and even then it doesn't necessarily want to remain straight. It still flexes back just just a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like right here in the middle. So it goes straight, then there's this very slight kind of turn there. But it feels nice to open and close it, that's for sure. Alright, so final word on look and feel and design. It's kind of a draw for me. I think having a little bit less of a crease and a screen that opens completely silently and very smoothly is a big plus, but also having a screen that stays straight when you open it and doesn't try to kind of flex back a little bit is also a plus for a Fold 5. So I don't know, it's a draw. Maybe going slightly towards the Fold 6. Now let's move on to performance and battery. So obviously, new generation, there is a new chip in here. So of course, the phone is going to be a little bit faster. It's going to operate a little bit cooler, and the battery life is going to be slightly improved because of that as well. Maybe software has something to do with it also, but on the performance, speed-wise, yes, the Fold 6 is a little bit quicker. But honestly, not by much. So even opening some apps, I mean, they open so close. Let's do something just a little bit larger here. You're honestly not gonna feel much of a difference there. So when I was trying to test it like that by opening apps one by one, trying to see which one performs better in that regard, yes, the Fold 6 is usually like half a second quicker. Sometimes though, for some reason apps manage to open quicker on Fold 5. I think it's, speed-wise of opening and closing your apps, it's pretty much the same. What I do notice is different is when I just open a drawer. I don't know if you just saw that, but there was a very quick lag there. And I don't know if it's the performance, if it's a chip, or if it's more of the refresh rate of the screen because of the newer technology here. I forget the exact name, but newer technology of the screen, they can go as low as I think 1 frame per second. It is my theory that it is just much quicker to switch between those different refresh rates. Or maybe it is the chip, but yeah, I know that sometimes when you open a drawer, like it didn't do it this time, it's usually kind of like the first time. The Fold 5 can lag slightly, just a little bit, just for a moment, and the Fold 6 does not. So again, it could be just because it's a new phone, that's usually how it goes. But of course, having a new chip and a new phone, it is expected that it's going to be a little bit faster. Is it faster enough to justify an upgrade? Heck no, I would not consider a new phone just for the speed. Battery life wise, again, it's a little bit better here. Nothing scientific, but usually when I use my phone normally day to day, I will end the day with about 35 to 40%, maybe 45 on the Fold 5, and with the Fold 6, I'm ending my day around 50 to 55%. Not scientific, but pretty much the same usage, just how I use my phone every day. So after using this for a week, of course I wanted to give it some time to learn my usage patterns, because the battery life on Samsung phones is never great at first. For the first few days it's kind of learning how you use it. Then after about a week or so, it gets to the right state when it really gets to that point when it gives you the best battery life you can get out of it. And yeah, I think it's a little bit better, but again, we're talking about probably charging your phone every night anyway, so does that make a good reason to upgrade? Probably not. And heat performance, the heat dissipation, yeah, the Fold 5 gets warmer up here a little bit quicker than the Fold 6, but I think similarly to the video I made on the Samsung S24 Ultra, if they're full load, if you play in demanding games or anything, they both get just about as warm in the same area, but it takes the Fold 6 a little bit longer to get there because more powerful, more efficient chip, it just doesn't need to work as hard to perform the same task overall. Other things, cameras are the same, battery size is the same, screen size again are very similar. Like I'm struggling to actually find more reasons to to cover here and explain why the Fold 6 is better than Fold 5. I think for me it's just slightly wider screen, sharper corners, and of course just having a new phone. And this whole deal with the noisy hinge and like the screen that flexes down, sometimes I touch it with an S Pen and I feel it move, and this is a really annoying thing to me. And also kind of feel like durability wise, I don't know how much longer it will last. I could probably stretch it for another year, but also the warranty will run out soon, and yeah, if something happens, it's not going to be a fun time. So we kind of brute forcing this issue, and instead of worrying about future durability of this phone for another year, it did great for the first year, and it'll probably do just fine. But instead of worrying about it, I just upgraded for the new one with the fresh warranty, fresh screen. That so far, well, it's not opening perfectly flat, opens silently and very smoothly and looks great. So as far as this part here, well, it's a bit annoying, but I don't think it's a deal breaker. I think overall it's still a great phone. I'm gonna try to wrap it up here. When I was thinking about it over the last couple of days, like what I'm gonna talk about, I feel like I had way more stuff I wanted to discuss, but now that I'm this video, I can't really think of much more to say. They are very similar. Your experience with this phone versus the Fold 5 is going to be the same. You're probably going to have the same experience. So the only difference, if you're like me, that you're going to feel is just like typing text messages in your outer screen is going to be a little bit nicer here. But other than that, I don't believe you're going to notice a lot of a difference between the two. So if you already have a Fold 5 and it's fine, it's in good condition, don't even think about Fold 6. Like, I'm just going to be real with you, man. Just don't even bother. Wait for the next year. Wait for them to make some meaningful improvement here. Wait for them to put the S Pen inside or add the S Pen support on the outside. Or if you want a wider screen, maybe they'll do that. There might be another model coming out later this year, as rumored. They might have that, we'll see. So you don't have to upgrade to this one if you already have a Fold 5. Now if you have a Fold 4 or Fold 3, or you don't have a foldable at all and you're thinking about it, the Fold 6 is the phone to get right now for sure. This is the best that Samsung has at the moment, obviously the newest, and is going to be the most robust, probably the most reliable so far, and it's the most modern design on here. Although design wise, again, could be a personal preference. I think Fold 5 is still a beautiful looking phone. And like I mentioned a bit earlier, it does feel a little bit heavier, but because of that, it does feel a little bit more premium. But if you're okay with like the flat side here and sharper corners, you're gonna love this phone. This is the new exclusive color. I forget what they call it, but it's kind of like carbon fiber look. It's interesting. It has glossy pieces and matte pieces in it, so kind of best of both worlds. And it's actually textured, so it's not just the look, but it's actually textured, so yeah, pretty cool. Probably gonna put the case on it anyway, right? A quick note about accessories, more specifically cases. This is the original Samsung case. This is the new one they called Kind Suit or Kind Case, something like that. I think they kind of use both names. And this is like $90 case from Samsung. About $71 at Best Buy and Amazon, seems like right now. I mean, it's a pretty decent looking case, but I feel like this year the Samsung's original cases are kinda meh. So, real quick, the back is kinda like the vegan leather, so it's nice, soft to the touch. Feels pretty premium. I like how the cameras are wrapped around with this, like a similar looking, design-wise, big ring that loops all the way around. So it's a nice look, kind of retro, futuristic, just the way I like it. What I don't like is, while the back is like, this fake leather, the front is just plastic. And they actually do look slightly different, both in texture and color. So that's kind of lame in my opinion. But the biggest problem I have with Samsung cases, this is the second one I tried. First I tried the S Pen case, and it was fine, but they had the same problem. So the front piece is designed pretty much exactly the same, but because they stretch the screen even more side to side, there's so little room on this left side for it to grab onto. And if you know your foldable cases, there's usually a sticky strip over there. Not necessarily an adhesive, it's not glue, but it's sticky and it's supposed to kind of lightly stick to your case like this and stay in place. Well, it's so thin that it constantly keeps coming up, like disconnecting very easily, just like that. So I mean, I didn't apply any force to pull this up. I kind of made it a little bit better by modding it slightly. So let me take this off to show you, and it's also kind of hard to take off, like from the corner here. I had some hard time doing that, so I noticed where I figured out the way to do it is just pull the top up like this, and then you can go ahead and remove the front piece. So this strip here is so thin, it barely grabs on. I actually modded mine slightly. I added like a piece of double-sided tape here, and it helps. It makes it stay a little bit longer, but with its factory strip here, it virtually doesn't even stick to your phone. Like, it'll stick, and then half a minute later it'll just lift up in the middle. And then of course, if this piece moves around, the dust will start getting under it and getting stuck on the sticky strip, and it'll probably eventually start scratching the side of your phone, which is not ideal. So they're okay. They just feels like worked better in the past. So this year they actually raised the base price of this phone to $1,900 from $1,800. It's already an outrageously expensive phone, and it just went up by $100. Of course, you get crazy good deals. You get insane trade-ins. They're giving $1,200 for the Fold 5, which you can't sell it for that much if you try to sell it on your own when it's almost a year old. They giving other incentives, double the storage. There was some additional discount. You get some discounts on accessories. Without those type of deals, I would never even be in the market for a phone like this. Well, I paid about $600 for it. That's doable. I think you would agree with me that even for $600, if you're happy with Fold 5, it's probably a waste of money. I'm not the person to lecture you about that though, because I waste my money all the time. So I don't know what you do in Samsung, why you think that you can justify raising the price by $100 when the market just getting more saturated with foldables now. You can get some crazy good foldables out there that many people will tell you are better than Samsung. They're just not as easy to get in the United States because you don't walk into Best Buy and pick one up. But you can order them online and you can probably get more of a phone for less. And here's Samsung actually raising their price. I think we're at its 6th generation. I would say by now I would expect them to start lowering the price. Like at first, when we were first seeing these phones, and they were super expensive. The Galaxy Fold, Fold 2, Fold 3, they were still kind of early adopter days, and we were paying for the privilege, for the ability to have this new technology. This crazy. Now we're at the 6th generation of the foldable from Samsung, and they're not adding anything significant as far as improvements to them. Like, where's the S Pen inside your phone? Where is the crazy good battery life? Where's the camera that is on par with S24 Ultra camera? Or S23 Ultra, or even S22 Ultra. These cameras are still not there. They're still a little bit behind those, flagship from the S series. Where's the S Pen support on the front? Where's that even wider screen or larger screen like some people want? Like, what are you raising the price for, Samsung? Is that inflation, economy? Usually when a new product comes out and it's expensive, then over time it becomes cheaper, it starts falling in price. This phone has this nice big screen. Well, my S24 Ultra has an amazing camera, an amazing battery life, a built-in S Pen. Sorry, I can't put it right here because it's recording. I don't think this phone has anything really that makes it worth like few $100 more than the S24 Ultra. I would put those phones on the same price range personally. I think you get a little bit different benefits from this phone versus the S24 Ultra, but you don't get a better phone with the Fold 6. And this part is the ugly about the Fold 6, in my opinion. We should be seeing prices going down by now, not going up, Samsung. So that's not cool. But overall, I like the phone, and I will enjoy the phone, I'm sure. And if you get one, I am 100% certain you will enjoy it as well. Thanks for watching. As always, my videos are unscripted. My thoughts are kind of all over the place, I get it. But if you have any other questions or anything I missed or anything I maybe made a mistake about and misspoke about something, please feel free to leave them in the comments. It'll help others understand it better. It'll help me improve as well. So thanks guys. See you next time.